Hey boys and girls, this is a shorter video to a longer video I made about how I feel about like Satan, for lack of a better term. I'm not, I guess I would call a traditional Satanist, but I love a lot of, I guess it would be traditional Satanist things. And I also like the work and Anton, can't freaking talk to me, Anton La Vey. And one of the books that I really enjoy, and it doesn't have a lot to do with really like magic rituals or psychic powers or anything like that, is The Satanic Witch, which is really a book about psychology and seduction. And I would suggest that every young lady have a copy of The Satanic Witch because it'll show you how to get whatever you want out of men. I would suggest that every young man read The Satanic Witch because you will know what to look out for when they're trying to seduce you or manipulate you. And one of the things I wanted to touch on in this one is something that Anton La Vey said, and we live in a culture that, people think like you have to be perfect or have a great body or have like be 19 or whatever. And we have a lot of people who don't like their age or they don't like the way they look or whatever. And Anton La Vey talks about this is you don't have to have like this super smoking body to be seductive and just like throw everything you got out there on the internet. I mean, you can if you want to, but he makes a really good point about like, if you go to a strip club, and I haven't been to a strip club a million times, but it's probably true, is if you go, you'll see like, okay, so, guys will be looking at the strippers, right? And they're dancing around, they got nothing on. But let's say, and this will happen from time to time, there's like a woman's come in, right? For whatever reason. And if she's attractive, right? And let's say she has a mid-length skirt on, and if that skirt goes up and you can see some thigh, more guys are going to be glancing over towards the thigh than they are on the girl on the stage because you want what you can't see. Seduction is about imagination more than like throwing out what you got. And I would say this to a lot of young ladies also, and this is coming from kind of a hedonistic and evil person, is don't throw everything you got out on the first date or on the internet or anything like that. Make anticipation build in people's brains because the imagination always works better than the reality, right? Like if you've ever seen the Blair Witch is kind of a scary show because you never see the witch. Because you never see the witch, it's scary. The old Evil Dead 2, if you've ever seen that, or Evil Dead, the first camera shot where it just chases people and you only got the reaction, you know what the hell it is. And it's terrifying because of it. It was not terrifying, but it can be. It depends on how much you like horror films or not. But it's always just be a little bit scary, right? And it's the same thing with seduction. Like if you like somebody on the internet or whatever, or even in person, and you're sending them nudes on week one, you're blowing that seduction a little bit and your power, your psychic seductiveness, whatever you want to call it. And I don't necessarily prescribe that young lady should play men. But if you are the master of your relationship, you're always going to be happier, right? That's true. And also, if you're a young guy watching this, it's better to know if you're going to be played and who's playing you and to be the master of your relationship. I'm for both sides. I'm your friendly grace. I don't care what your gender is. You could be male, female, anything in between. I got your back on this. I want you to be happy. If, it's like that Offspring song, my friend's got a girlfriend, my friend's got a boyfriend, I don't care either way. But I want you to be happy if you're watching my video right now. You're one of my dark and lovely souls who likes to hear me talk. So I wanted to give you this insight in how men and women work. Men dig it when you leave it up to the imagination a bit more. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And I would suggest even the young ladies who do like OnlyFans and things like that would be a bit more conservative in their approach. They'd be amazed what would happen. And guys, women will a lot of times try to innocently manipulate you. Women think a little bit differently than men. And again, I would advise you to check out The Satanic Witch and read it from a male perspective. It also has a really good point on psychology and what kind of a person you are. Really, Anton La Vey was, we'll talk about that in just 1 second. I would suggest you read the book. So again, you can look to see if you're being played or if somebody's trying to seduce you. And it'll just be more obvious, right? And I hate to say that because a lot of people say, well, there's love and relationships and stuff like that. Trust me, I'm almost half a century old and it's all bullshit. People are usually just trying to get laid. And then they might meet somebody that they really like and they love and stuff like that. But most of this, there's very rarely those magical things, right? Because most people are trying to get seduced, mutual seduction. It's all really like, people are trying to play their game and you know what the end result is, right? So if you're going to play the game, play it really well, right? And to that extent, I would say less is more. You don't need to wear lingerie and take photos of yourself on the internet. That's just showing everybody else. Just have like a nice blouse cut open a little bit, and I guarantee you it'll be more mystifying. You know, the shape underneath and stuff like that. It's absolutely true. It's very becoming. When a young lady is like, even like goth, right, with the gothic style and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, you can dress like provocatively from time to time too. And I'm not telling you how to dress. And I'm not saying I don't dig it when people dress provocatively. I'm just saying from time to time in the art of seduction, it's not always the best course. Sometimes it's better to take a more subdued approach. It's like, you know, I'm comfortable today. I wouldn't wear this to a club, you know, with my shoulders hanging out and stuff like that. I would take a more subdued approach. I would leave more to the imagination. And I would say for young ladies and young guys to do the same, leave more to the imagination. And young guys, I'm going to talk to you about this, is leaving more to the imagination. No woman on the planet wants you to randomly send her a picture of your penis. It's not cool, and it will never get you laid. And I don't know why guys think that is cool or it will get them laid. It makes you look pathetic, and that's not a good way to get like. And if the lady that, you know, if you have a resident on the internet, somebody says, "I really want to see," you know, that's different. That's different. Just make sure you're taking a good picture, get a long angle lens, all that kind of things. But don't do that. That's very just unbecoming. Again, that's, you know, less is more. keep it to the imagination. You know, just let the gray sweatpants tell the tale, right? And I think just young people, goddamn, I'm not that old. I was born in 1975 with Danzig concerts and shit like that, right? Young people today, though, less is more. You don't need to be showing pictures of your genitalia on the internet a third time talking to them. And not because I don't think that's cool. Again, I like hedonism. I think people should just have big fucking Roman orgies and summon fucking like Satanos, right? And the fires of hell, all that kind of good shit. Like Japanese anime level of weird shit going on. I'm all for it. I say fucking hey, go for it. But I believe in the art of seduction, sometimes hanging back. Like the best sexual experience you'll ever have in your life is the one you start 7 hours before you even start fucking having sex. When you start like building things up with like innuendo and like how it builds and builds and builds, right? That's just how that works. So I guess I'm just an old guy screaming on the internet, and you can argue with me and tell me I'm wrong below and stuff like that, but I'm coming from a really wicked perspective, and I'm not telling you to be chaste or to never wear anything becoming or, you know, like have a whole thing covering you up or anything. Not at all. What I'm saying is sometimes the next time you go to a club, you might want to think about hiding a little bit more than exposing a little bit more, and I guarantee you'll get more of these side glances. Guys will come up and want to talk to you a little bit more, because once a guy, you know, gets it, sees it, whatever, it's more just, he's always on the, it's that men have a like genetically like a hunter instinct, right? It's I don't want to say predatory because the world's too fucked up that way, but when we can't see something, we'd more be inclined to see it. Does that make sense? So that helps in the art of seduction. And there's some truth about that. And this book kind of goes into that. It's a good book to read. I recommend a lot of what Anton La Vey reads for my own personal reads, what he wrote. I use his 3 basic rituals a lot in the Satanic Bible because I think they're amazing. I don't use all the sacred names in the Enochian, but I think the basic tools and stuff like that, there's a lot of good merit to them. And the Satanic Witch is a really good psychological insight. I can't stress it enough if you're a young lady to read this book, because, and you don't have to implement any of the things that Anton La Vey says, but should you decide to use your sexuality as a tool, it'll show you how to do that in a really kind of cool way, the way that he wrote it. And it also is a good form of, on psychology, he has outward and demonic selves, I think is the term he uses. And it's like how we're kind of attracted to what we're not. Really masculine guys are attracted to really feminine men. Really masculine guys are attracted to really feminine women. Really feminine guys are attracted to more masculine women. Everybody's kind of wants what they don't have. And it's, this isn't always the case, but this is the case a lot of the times. And I found it a long time ago when I read it when I was a kid, and then I read it again, and I still find it even as an older person. It would give you an edge in the game of seduction as a woman if you read it. If a guy, it'll give you an edge in psychology into what to look out if you're being played. Now, if you choose to be played, because I'll tell you what, if an evil witch woman with some eyeliner and it's got the right outfit on, it's not too revealing, but revealing enough wants to play me, I'll be a fiddle. I'm just teasing. But no, seriously, if you want to be played, that's cool, but at least you'll know you're being played, right? You won't be manipulated. So this is a tool to allow women to manipulate. and allow men to avoid manipulation. And actually, men to a certain degree, you can use a reverse psychology and kind of manipulate a little bit, I guess, if you want it. And some people would say, Lenny Graves, are you telling us to go out there and manipulate people for our own pleasure and gain? Yes. Yeah, get out there. Don't make people do, you don't force anybody or hurt anybody or anything like that. I don't agree with anything like that. But like if you can be some swell shit and lay something down on somebody and seduce them, get what you want, heck yeah, awesome, you rock. I wouldn't suggest lying to people and messing with them and stuff like that. That's not very cool. But if you find somebody attractive and you want to go after them and get them, use every tool. Fuck fair play and shit like that. You want Brad, the captain of the football team, or Susie, who's the hot goth chick, hangs out, doesn't know. I don't know. I wouldn't suggest high school kids read this book, to be completely honest with you. But no, if you want to come into your own, this is just a tool. And there's lots of other tools, but I would say instead of spending a bunch of money on like courses and stuff like that, this book's probably less than $20. It'll look cool on your shelf. It's pink. It's the only pink book I own. It's got a cool picture of Anton La Vey on the back. It's got a graph in here. It's a good book. It's a good book on human psychology. Comment below if you agree with me or not. What you think about Anton La Vey and his writings and stuff like that. I really, again, when I was a kid, I was really taken by him. And as an adult, rereading it, being much more initiated into like, I don't know if the word esoteric, I use it too much. Hidden truths, hermetic principles, all that kind of good stuff. I still like it. I still think it's a basic, cool concept. It's a good primer into black magic, that thought, the projection that our minds can influence reality and stuff like that. But that's a different talk, and we'll have that another day. But again, for my dark and lovely souls, my young ladies, go out there and manipulate. My young men, go out there and avoid manipulation, and get out there and manipulate each other all night. Thanks for hanging out. If you got something out of that, again, think about Dysfunctional Enlightenment on Facebook or YouTube. Comment below. That really would help me because I don't know if people want to watch these and like which ones you prefer and stuff like that. If you like tarot cards and stuff like that, I read those. Do magic spells too. I'm going to get my Etsy shop set up, and you can also find my rates and prices at Facebook and just shoot me a message. I take Cash App and PayPal. You guys are awesome. Thanks a bunch. Have a great night.